I had a bit and everything all squared away, but no, somebody's got to make their fucking panties in a bunch while this asshole's got American online internet ruining every.
I love that, bud.
Another clip.
Yeah, I'm providing all the goddamn clips. You piece of.
Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports, episode 56. I noticed that about over 90% of you guys that are watching this video aren't subscribed yet. Come on, what are you doing? Yeah, it's nuts. I don't like that number. If you're watching this video, like and subscribe.
Was that your attempt at being personable?
No.
Oh, it sounds like you're reading from a script. No, I'm sure.
No. I don't have a script. Stop saying I have a script. I don't.
Hey guys, like and subscribe. Next week I'm going to do my try-on haul. I'm sure.
All right. Here's the thing.
The cow.
Here's the thing.
Jumped over.
Ryan, you know what I'm about to do, so you shut up. KDot, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you.
I got some gifts for you.
Uh-oh.
Some cards. Remember I told you about
yeah.
The Joe Theismann.
Is his leg intact in that one?
Yeah, cracked ice. You can see his leg right there.
Oh my God, it's a Joe Theismann with a leg.
Yep, it's cracked ice or whatever.
He's got eyes.
I got a Jonathan Allen, blue. This one, they only made 99 of these cards.
He's not going to be here long.
I hope he is.
Antonio Gibson, rookie card. I got that for you too.
Oh, wow.
Antonio Gandon Golden.
I love that
Andy
guy.
Golden, yeah.
Awesome.
Is he Liberty or JMU? I always get
Liberty.
And since it's your birthday, I added an extra one. A rookie Chase Young. Prison.
Nice. That's awesome.
What are all these worth? Like, did you just hit me with a mint?
Not really. Oh. I mean, it depends on how the players do.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean,
Antonio Gibson's supposed to be good, right?
Antonio Gibson was great.
If he can stay fucking healthy.
If he stays healthy, this card would be worth something. And then Chase Young, obviously.
No, I'll make sure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to subscribe to the Ringers sports card podcast show.
No.
So I can learn.
No. I
mean, there's nobody else doing them.
Okay. Well, if you should know, bitch, we have PSA graded returns coming back soon, and that'll be the first video.
Probably in the next couple weeks.
An unboxing.
Hopefully.
We've been planning on it, but PSA is behind about 10 million cards right now.
10 million cards.
Yeah, I think the next episode on the Ringer, this will break down some stuff. I still don't understand what you guys are talking about.
That's fair.
You know what? You listen to them. I don't care. All right.
Most of America's listening to them.
Ryan, here's yours. I got you a silver Josh Norman, and it's a Bills card, but he's wearing a Washington football team uniform. It's perfect for you. And it's silver.
Wait, is he getting bowled over by Derrick Henry in that?
He looks like he's on the way to make the tackle, but it didn't work out for him.
He's still flying from that tackle.
I got you a Tremaine Edmonds.
Nice.
Mosaic pink.
That is Virginia Tech's finest.
Gabriel Davis rookie card.
Nice.
And Jake Fromm, a quarterback rookie.
From State Farm.
Yep. Jake from State Farm. And Mauricio's not here, but I got some stuff too.
Some Eagles.
Yep. Jalen Reagor, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert, and Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is a beast.
If I wrap my Lucky Strike in a Cuban Cohiba sleeve, does it make it cooler?
No.
Okay.
All right. So
why do you just have random Cohiba sleeves?
I smoked one for my birthday.
Yeah, I know, but why do you still have the sleeve?
Yeah, I smoked it. We were playing cards and shit over here, and I just kind of didn't throw it away.
Nice.
Right. So let's start off with something somber. Rest in peace to Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, it's a sad story, man.
Terribly sad.
I heard it. I heard there's reports that he possibly could have been could have been dead like 3 days before that called it in.
Yeah.
Because there was a missing persons filing that happened like a week or two beforehand, and they went and tried to go find him. They found him, made contact, and they left him alone. Then he kind of disappeared again, like nobody could see him, nobody saw him again. But then it was like that uncomfortable moment where, all right, he did this before, we kind of know where he's at, he's just kind of doing his own thing. And now when they went to go try to find him, he was deceased.
They said that he was like the cleaning crew like walked in and he was on the couch, and then a couple days later they walked in and he was still in the same spot on the couch, and that's when they called the paramedics. So real sad.
They donated his brain
to CTE research. I think that's going to be probably the standard for NFL players, because I mean, we've seen so many like Hall of Famers and recently even very young players do things out of character. So traumatic brain injury,
and you see like a lot of like football players retire early. You
gotta try to avoid the shit. But there's I think the same way that it is for like, I know I'm an organ donor. You guys probably same thing. No? Yes? On your driver's license, organ donor. I think the NFL equivalent is going to be everybody just donate their brain donors.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not an organ donor?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's a box you check. It says it on your license.
It says it on your driver's license.
Well, I don't have my wallet next to me, so I don't know.
I felt like we hit a nerve. The organ.
No, we don't. We didn't.
He just doesn't know.
I feel like
there was another.
Uncheck that box.
You need to uncheck it. We need to make sure no one gets your organs. Okay.
Yeah, for me, nobody
needs.
Oh, I was like, mine should be fine.
My organs are used.
I had a problematic line, but it was
good. Glad you didn't do it.
Like, they're probably about a 50-year-olds right now, so like it's still better than most.
Tough. But yeah, there was also another report of a soccer player. I think he was in Mexico. He committed suicide, and it brought up a good topic in regards to, like a bunch of soccer players have like sports psychologists that like talk to them and help them go through all the pressures and stuff. And I don't know if football players have that. Like, did you guys ever hear anything about like, I remember it was like a USA Network show at one point, one of those episodes. You don't remember that?
What you're talking about at all?
All right, I'm gonna find it. Keep talking. Go ahead, Ron.
I think like we saw recently with the tight end from the Seahawks, like they were at least it was almost like they were unaware of what like his mental issues. But I don't know whether they just keep it under wraps because obviously there's like HIPAA issues there, like disclosing people's mental health problems. But it would seem because of the consistency with which we see issues in the NFL that probably all relate to mental health, all the abuse issues. You see issues with like players doing wild shit off the field.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to imagine that their system is not up to snuff, if you will. I know the NBA does, or at least they have programs that like voluntary programs, but I'm not sure if they have anything that they'll like put you into.
Necessary roughness.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Necessary roughness?
Like, yeah, it was like in 2011 to 2013.
I don't think I.
What was it about?
It was like an NFL organization had a psychologist come in, and then she would fix the problems of the NFL players.
And it lasted.
Like,
is it a reality show?
No, he was in it. He was like the main football star. He was a receiver, and then
it was. You realize every time you do that, I can't.
Oh, McCad. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
McCad
Brooks.
McCad Brooks, yeah.
McCad Brooks. Okay.
So it was just a dramatized thing. All right, look.
Yeah. It was like
That's not a good way to do mental health.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point in the episode, if it was probably on USA,
that's probably why it only lasted 2 years.
And I'm sure somebody fucks somebody, and it's just this whole bit. All right, the idea of what it is we're talking about with the mental health aspect. The sports thing is just a microcosm of what's happening in society at large, right? Like there is this idea, I mean, especially coming out of the year that we've all had, and 2021 has been up and down as far as what's a good day and what's not. There are a lot of people that we're still looking at the prevalence of people that aren't willing to have the conversations as far as what it is they're going through mentally, which is why it's so important when you got guys like Dak Prescott or Kevin Love or any of these other athletes to go out and do it. There's also another huge issue, which is that especially in the black community, you're looked upon a lot of times as weak for talking about that kind of shit. Yep. So you're looking at a lot of these sports like the NFL, predominantly black. Those things still translate over regardless of how much money you have. And a lot of times when you have the money, most people look at you and say, what the fuck you got to be sad about, right? So there is almost this guilt of coming out and saying that you're going through this, that, and the other. And there's almost impossible to make it an involuntary sort of thing because if anybody's going to therapy, you're only going to get out of therapy what you put into therapy. You've got to be in a position to do that. Do I think that therapy and psychiatry could be reworked in some sort of way to be more preventative, or at least teaching people how to gain things, maybe do a class or something? Possibly. Same thing I think about troops coming back from combat. They need to kind of decompress, right? But I don't know. I don't know how it is you get up the NFL and try
It's easy. They force them into drug tests every week or random drug screenings. Like what? They force them to go through full medicals before they get traded to a different team.
But you can go to therapy and it's in one ear out the other. It's all
right,
about
but if they're not even trying is my point. Like they're so concerned with the physical well-being of their players and whether or not they're cheating by taking, performance enhancing drugs, but the mental aspect doesn't seem to be as concerning to them. So I mean, it's still a place of employment. Like if my boss is like, hey, you got to go do this therapy thing, I have two choices. I can do it or I can get fired or quit.
I know I've worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies, big, massive companies that we all knew, hey, you can call the hotline if you need help with this, that, and the other. Nobody's fucking calling the hotline. It was one of those things where I'm sure in the NFL and teams individually have methods or means in which you can go and get help. But when it comes to the player not doing so or the forcement of doing that, I think the better way to go about it is a soft sell. It's the NFL taking guys like Dak Prescott and saying, hey, the league is behind you, to do a campaign and saying it's okay to talk about this shit. It's good to talk about this stuff. It's having podcasts like this. It's in the group chats when you talk with your friends to make sure that people know, hey, I'm going through a rough time and it's okay to go seek help. I think that we just need to change the way we think about it societally. To get people to be more involved in looking at ways in which you can help the mental health awareness. I think probably the biggest thing, in my opinion, that ever helped as far as mental health awareness was The Sopranos. The fact that you had Tony Soprano was this bad motherfucker on TV, supposed to be a mobster, and he was going to therapy, made a lot of guys in that age bracket kind of rethink some shit. I think you need more examples of things like that in society to make people more comfortable with it.
He didn't really like going to therapy at the beginning.
Because it was going to get him killed. I mean, spoiler alert, it did get an assassination because he was going to therapy. So,
all right.
Can't be in the mob and go talk to therapists. I mean, maybe that's the one line of work that you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah, you're supposed to be crazy, right?
Oh, and then analyze this.
Huh, that is a good film.
All right. So let's move on to more NFL news. It's a good update for a sad situation. The 5-year-old girl that was hit by Brett Reed's car in an accident or whatever, she is awake from the coma, finally. This was a thought in the back of my head throughout the whole Super Bowl, like watching the game. Like, you can't really enjoy it as much as you normally would because that situation clouded everything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't released more details as to the accident. I guess probably because it's still under investigation.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she's awake. That was the last update I saw, so I'm assuming.
Same.
I'm assuming that means no news is usually good news in the news. So I hope she keeps getting better. Real sad story.
Hope she makes a full recovery.
Yeah, same.
I remember it ended up being a topic of conversation in the room, which I was watching the Super Bowl. Like everybody was a lot of people didn't know about it when we were talking about it.
That's crazy.
A lot of people didn't. I think it was one of those stories that I thought was going to be more prevalent, not just in the sports community, but outside of it before the Super Bowl run up. But I think because of how close it was to it, there were other storylines. And then when Tom Brady gets the Super Bowl, we just know what America cares about. I think at one point during the game, Tony Romo kind of alluded to it about the stuff that was happening in Kansas City, but he kind of, they glossed over it. I think somebody got in his headphones and said, "Hey, keep positive, man."
Also, if you say the wrong thing to something that's under investigation,
true,
all of a sudden you're out of a job. So,
yep.
All right. Let's get into some of the biggest news that happened this week. Carson Wentz finally got traded.
He went back from whence he came.
You waited all week for that shit, didn't you?
Yeah, he did. He saw the news. He was like, "I got it.
I got it." So they're gonna have. I mean, I don't know what games the Colts were watching last year of Carson Wentz playing. I guess good for Carson because that's probably slots right back into a starting position. I don't know anything about Jacob Eason, who they have on the bench.
He's not playing.
But man, he was not good. He was not good.
Yeah,
he was bad.
What's his name? Frank Reich. That's his name.
Frank Reich.
That was his old QB coach, right?
When he was having his MVP caliber season before he got hurt.
Right, but if you watch Carson Wentz just his throwing motion and his decisions with the ball,
he regressed.
Well, he changed the way he throws. Since his injury, he's completely changed the way he throws.
Let him go to the person that he has success with and have him fix him. Fix him.
I don't know if he'll be able to. It's tough to teach an old dog new tricks, and at this point,
he's not old.
It's his 5th, 6th year in the league, is it not?
Don't think so. Yeah. I'm thinking like it's his 3rd.
No, he's not on his rookie deal, so no. I think he's 2014, 2015, so it's like 5-6 years in the league.
He's 28, was drafted in 2016.
It's just, I don't know, because they already tried to fix it once, and he didn't have the air under the ball like he normally does. He didn't have the same velocity. I just don't know if he's not going to be a replacement for Flip Rib. That's all I'm saying.
But I mean, then he was sacked 50 times. So
right.
And that's not all the offensive line's fault.
It's not. But he was making poor decisions with the ball as well. I don't know if he is I don't know if they're going to slot right back into the playoffs by just putting in Carson Wentz. But I could be wrong. Like, he didn't even win that Super Bowl.
They were great everywhere else too.
Nick Foles won that Super Bowl. We all watched it. So
yeah, but I'm saying the Colts were great everywhere else too already.
Yeah, but I just don't know.
Here's the thing: is the same conversation we had. What was it last week about the tiers of quarterbacks? And I said that there was a tier that I looked at: Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, as far as dudes that have shown flashes of being truly special, and then it all went to shit. We don't know why, right? There's a clip that just got that somebody refound about Doug Peterson talking to an opposing coach in 2017, saying how Carson Wentz does everything right. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's the first one in, last one out. The dude is just so mature. The only way this is not going to work out is if we break him. I hope we don't break him. Doug, you might have broken the motherfucker. Like, there is a situation where right now, if I'm looking across the league, Carson Wentz's situation going to Indianapolis is the absolute perfect thing for him in his career. It should look. There's no guarantees with any of this shit, right? But I think that if there's anything that's going to work in his benefit is this: he's got a guy that he knows that still believes and trusts in him, thus the trade for him, right? That he got his best production out of with a team that, look, the Indianapolis Colts are not far removed from when Andrew Luck was their quarterback, everyone saying that they were slotted in as far as the Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers comes in last year, and while he did a pretty good job, you can still see there were a lot of times he did not have the velocity he needed to on the ball. He wasn't that same guy. If you got a Carson Wentz that can even go back to 75% of the form that he was back in 2017, you've got a stud. You've got somebody that's going to really be able to do something with that team. Jonathan Taylor, as far as a running back, has been a revelation. He looked like I think the second best rookie running back last year, behind James Robinson. They still have T.Y. Hilton. They still got things on offense. That offensive line, when healthy, is still one of the best in the league. And they got a defense that, while not world beaters or anything, they can still do what they need to do on defense at times.
Their defense is really good.
I'm just, as far as we're looking at like studs or star names or anything like that, they got Darius Leonard and
the D-line.
Yeah, the D-line's pretty good. No, I take it back. Yeah, I was underselling. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm underselling. So if I'm looking at that sort of situation, Carson Wentz, this is perfect. And you look at the compensation. What was a second and a third, and the second could turn into a first depending on the amount of snaps that he takes.
If he takes 75%.
75% of his snaps. So if I'm looking at that from an Indianapolis perspective, if he takes 75% of the snaps, that's going to mean that he's doing something, right? And if he's doing something, I'm willing to pay that much for that guy. I didn't like it for the Washington football team. For me, I don't want to take that chance as far as that guy because I don't have that background with Carson Wentz. There's no reason to believe that he's going to turn it on with Scott Turner. Give him back to the dude that he got the success with. You start seeing when Frank Wright left, there's a decline with Carson. It coincided with the injury, but there's definitely a decline. I don't know if it had to do with him losing that guy or if it was the injury. All we know is that something happened and it was fucked up and wrong.
Same or the O-line too.
There's so many variables that there could be. Indianapolis, I think, did the exact right thing. I'm also happy as a Washington football team fan that there's one less team in the quarterback contender, like fighting for the jockeying for quarterbacks right now at this particular point. Although it looks like Philadelphia might not be sold on Jalen Hurts, which fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah. I guess I'm not totally sold that they're all in, that the Colts are all in on Wentz either. They took on a huge contract. I think it was 4 years, 128 or 129 or something like that, which is a fuck ton of money for a broken quarterback.
How many years are they in the contract now?
He got it after the Super Bowl, so they got 2 years left on it, I think.
Okay. I wonder when they can cut him with no
and a second and a third round pick. After we saw what Stafford got, this is kind of a much lower offer for a Carson Wentz. So we'll see. Look, that Super Bowl run Philly was like the coolest story ever, but I don't think Carson Wentz is as serviceable as he once was. But we'll see. Maybe he can get fixed.
Also, if you're Indianapolis, I mean, what's your other option? What are you going to do? Like, who else are you going to – like, the Carson Wentz –
If you're that good and Russell Wilson wants out, why aren't you going after someone to back
Well, we just talked about the compensation, right?
Like, they can cut him after next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what they're looking at. They give him 1 year test run.
But we're also talking about the trade compensation. Like, we just said how much the Stafford trade got. To me, if I'm looking at the Carson Wentz thing, kind of sounds like a deal, right? And like, if you're going to try to go get Russell Wilson, it's going to take more than that. The same way that Deshaun Watson.
But they were first round in the playoffs last year.
They were first round in the playoffs last year, which also means they don't have a very high draft pick, which means they're not going to draft a quarterback that's going to get.
Well, I'm saying like if they're it's the win now league, and I'm just surprised that with the team that they have, that they brought in a trial run quarterback.
I don't think I think for Frank
Wright, he thinks they can win with him.
And I think that if there's anyone on this planet that knows what Carson Wentz is going to be capable and not capable of doing, it's going to be Frank.
And who else would they be able to trade for?
Without mortgaging everything.
They're not getting Deshaun Watson because he's in the division.
I still thought their primary
Russell Wilson.
I thought their primary objective should be trying to get Luck to come back. Like that's when Phil left, I thought Luck should be the thing.
Speaking of, you remember that was a discussion.
Yeah, the rumor because the shitty friend that released the text messages.
Right, but it was nothing to do with nothing. So Luck's not coming back.
No, Andrew Luck's he's doing stuff. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
He's done.
Business, man.
Speaking of done, Tim Tebow.
Oh, all right.
Athlete.
God on earth.
Pure.
Better than Sammy Baugh.
That's just stupid. I mean, he's arguably one of the greatest. I'd say you got to put him top 5 greatest college quarterbacks all time.
You played with a murderer. God played with a murderer. I just want everybody to know that.
Couldn't save his soul.
Couldn't. But
all right,
did catch a lot of touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
All right. I didn't have Tim Tebow on the list because
I know that's why I had forgotten about it. I tried to push it out of my mind.
Right.
He's got to go do God's work now. He's done hitting baseballs, and I get that.
All right, let's move on to the NBA. The NBA released the All-Star starters. Steph is there.
Trash.
You tried to say that bullshit when he was like 3 for 15 at one point in the game. And then I showed you his stats for the last like 15 games.
Don't care.
So if you have one bad game, you're trash again?
Trash.
That's stupid. All right.
Who are the starters?
So for the West, I don't know about the East because I don't care about the East. But the West, it was LeBron.
So stupid.
LeBron, Kawhi, Luka, Steph, and Jokic.
Let's just preface this with
Jokic.
a lot of players don't want to be playing the All-Star game. So let's just start there.
I don't think any of them. But
I don't think most of them don't want to be there.
For the East, I do want to say Bradley Beal's a starter, and he deserves it.
Let's go. I mean, he leads the league in scoring.
The East is Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, KD, Giannis, and Joel.
That's a good,
That's good. And Joel,
I disagree with some of them. I actually think some of them is a toss-up on both sides.
But
Joel put on a performance last night.
But for the West, the issue was Dame should be a starter.
Over Luka.
I would say over Kawhi, in my opinion.
Luka.
Well,
I think it's crazy.
I read an article.
I'm not mad at that either, but it should be over Kawhi, in my opinion.
I read an article, and the reason that Luka is starting over
popular vote
is the fan vote.
Yeah.
And they were tied, which I think isn't an unreasonable thing.
I don't know if it was 3 categories, right? The fans, the media, and the players.
Right.
Right. And Dame was number 2 in 2 of those. And then number 3 he was number 3 in 2 of those, or number 2 in 2 of those, and then number 3 in the other one. And then Luka was number 2 in 1 of them.
And then number 1 in the other.
Oh, I thought he was 3rd.
Right.
Okay,
so
my bad.
He got in because of the fan vote.
All right, that makes sense.
And look, we can argue till we're blue in the face about who should start. It's a fucking all-star game. There's going to be about 3 seconds of defense played and like 700 points because that's the fucking league that we're in now.
They changed
no
it.
Defense.
They changed the format after last year, and it was more competitive.
Right. I'm still nobody's going out there to get hurt. It's gonna be a lot of dunks.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I get that you get to put that on your resume, I guess.
That's the point.
That's important.
For who? For
contracts.
Are you saying
contracts? Hall of Fame.
All right.
All that shit is important.
At this point, we're fucking
give them the accolades, but don't have them play the game.
Dude, B- players are getting supermax deals. Like from a contract standpoint, okay.
Who's a B- player?
I don't know, like half the people on the Sixers.
Oh.
Like there's people
for a moment.
I'm pretty sure isn't Jay Crowder on a supermax? Like it's just so many players. Look, Dame is gonna garner max contract if he's not an all-star starter, is my point. That doesn't matter. If he wins enough championship.
There needs to be, like, if they want to do the popular vote thing, then just do like an exhibition fan blah 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 blah.
Fans should not be voting.
That's my point.
Is they had fucking
but see that's
Klay Thompson was going to be a starter.
But that's my point. Is that the all-star, if we're going to look at it in the sense of like it's going to be the best.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. It's I think having the fans and it turn into a popularity contest is horseshit.
Yeah, it should be the players, in my opinion.
Right, like you could have an award or something for the most popular players or anything, and maybe that garners a certain amount of contract discussion because that's important too. But it's not about the play. Or we need to re-up what it is we think about like all NBA team and how much more important that is than the All-Star thing. Yeah. It's just a matter of like just taking everything into consideration. There's just some things I'm like, But even if, like right now, I think that I don't think it's a travesty that Luka's on there. I just said that, like, if I'm looking at it, I would have put Dame above Luka.
I agree.
Right. And on the East side, it pains me to say this. There's two guys that I'm looking at right now on the East. One guy I'm looking at on the East, and I'm like, if this is going to be, like, the best guys, I don't know how he's not there, but I understand why he's not there, and it's Harden. Harden's playing, come on. He hasn't played in the East, I guess, long enough to make it. But goddamn,
there's a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
I don't give a fuck about the bad taste. Look, I don't like Harden, but you cannot deny what he's doing in Brooklyn. His passing, his shooting, everything is.
Who does he go over?
What do you mean?
Who would you pick him over?
Brad?
Nah.
Because if I'm looking at Brad, here's the thing. I'm a Wizards fan, but guess what? How many wins did the Wizards have?
7.
Thank you. So, like, if I'm looking at those guys, like, there's another name, the other guy that I would think that may also, there's an argument made over Brad, Zach LaVine. Like, Chicago's record's better. The only statistic in which he's lower than Brad is points per game, and I think it's by like 3 or 4 per game. Beyond
That's
that,
a lot.
But percentages, everything else are all higher in every other category than Brad. Not to mention the one that matters a lot more than anything, which is wins. Trust me, I love Bradley Beal. I'm glad that he's there.
And he got snubbed last year. So
he got snubbed this year. Last year, I agree, and I love that he's there. He's playing lights out. But if we're looking at things in a grand scheme, I'm looking at this All-Star list, and I'm just saying, what does it mean? Like, if I'm looking at the All-Star, if I'm looking at this, what does it mean? If you had somebody that didn't know anything about basketball and you said, these are the All-Star rosters, what would you say they are?
They're the best players in the league.
It's a scoring league, and Bradley Beal's
you think these are
scorer.
the best players in the league? And James Harden's not on the list?
No, he's going to be in the game.
I'm saying starters. Like, if we just showed the starting lineup.
Yeah, but you remember there's other shit with James Harden, the reason why he's not there.
But then, what is it? So the popularity.
He just got to the damn Nets.
And it's also a unpopularity contest because it's people voting.
Right. It's fans, and he also got the media, and then the players.
Which is where I go back to.
2/3 of its popularity.
The entire way that they get to the All-Star thing needs to be scrapped because it's bullshit.
I'd rather just like put like how in the NFL you got the Pro Bowl than All Pro. Like All Pro holds more weight in football circles than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but you still got a lot of people get upset about the Pro Bowl because it's a check. It's money. It is money. It's literally money in your pocket.
Well, like All Pro should be money too then.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying is that like there needs to be a reworking of the way that we do this. If we want to have a popularity award, like the same way in music and movies we have the People's Choice Awards, which nobody looks at the People's Choice Awards the same way you look at a Grammy or an Oscar, right? But they are the People's Choice Awards. They're their own thing. Maybe there's a People's Choice sort of thing that needs to happen as far as the NBA. But the fact that you're taking a portion of it and then also a portion with the media and then a portion with the players, to me, it's diluting what it is that we're having. To me, it's just hard to explain.
But it makes sense to me because the fans are the ones that are watching this, like the game. Like all the fans are coming to watch.
How many of those fans do you actually think know anything about basketball?
I don't know. I don't have any of the stats.
No, but I'm saying, give me a percentage. Do you just think? Ryan, you do the same.
How do they vote? Like they tweet it?
I think it's a tweet. It's a tweet, or you go on a website and you click something.
Okay.
What percentage of those fans do you think honestly watch these games and know anything about basketball?
75.
You think 75%?
Yeah, between that and like 80.
I think you guys are out of your fucking minds. I think you're if you grasp maybe 40% tops of people that actually know anything about basketball that are breaking the votes.
I think basketball people are kind of like I am with baseball.
We're not talking about watching the games. We're talking about clicking a button to vote.
No, but
different.
So somebody who doesn't watch the sport at all is just.
I'm not saying don't watch the sport. I'm saying there are people that might tune in that might know a little bit fast basketball. But if you're really honestly telling them to break down the game or break down why this guy's better than that guy, they have no idea what it is.
They're voting for their guy.
Yeah.
Right. Which to me
it's a popularity vote.
Am I misconstruing what I'm saying to you guys, or are you guys just saying what I'm saying is stupid? Like, I'm trying to understand.
Probably the latter, but continue.
Yeah, I guess that's.
Look, it's the same. If we're going to argue this, it's the same as getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds is the best player of all time. He's losing out on the popularity contest right now. It's all a fraud. Like the vote, unless you have a computer generate it every year, which, let me tell you, would be scrapped immediately, because the media would sit there and be like, well, yeah, I guess Otto Porter Jr. had the best 3-point percentage, but he only shot 20. So why is he in there?
A baseball writer knows more about baseball than an average baseball fan. The same thing with an NBA. An NBA writer knows more than the average NBA fan.
Didn't they have Jaylen Brown supposed to be a starter?
You know what I heard? I remember Chris Broussard was one of the dudes on the media. I think I heard this. I think I saw it on Twitter. Was one of the dudes that he votes for the NBA, and he was apologizing to Dame because he said that he should have voted for him over Luka. And it was one of those things where I'm looking at, I'm like, I understand his logic. I understand what he's saying. They gave him shit about it because it's like, motherfucker, you're apologizing after the fact, but you knew the stats going into the thing. To me, it's if we're basing this thing, which puts dollars in these guys' pockets, which is supposed to be, as you said, a barometer of who the best in the league is, and we narrow it down to a fucking American Idol contest on Twitter,
it needs to be changed.
It dilutes it. And that's all I'm saying, is that it does need to be changed.
I agree.
I think it's bullshit. I just think that we have to. This is why I said the people's choice thing.
The money should be taken out of it.
This is why I'm saying the people's choice thing is, if you want to do the popularity thing, then make it its own thing. Do a popularity contest exhibition game where you're the guys you most want to see, and they get paid based on this, that, and the other. Do that.
Because I was like, if you take the money out of the All-Star game, nobody's showing up.
But the reason I asked you, if I showed somebody the list, what would you say this is? And if you tell me it's the best players in the NBA, it's not.
Yeah.
But also, this is not money.
Oh,
it's $25,000 and $50,000. Harden spends that at a strip club on a Thursday.
That man going to
and none of the people who are getting the people who might require that money, they're not going to the All-Star game.
That man going to Starlets.
Yeah, $50,000 ain't shit to anybody that's in there.
$50,000 is still $50,000 in my opinion. And outside the $50,000,
but it's not. It's
more than the $50,000. It's about what happens in your contract negotiation when you can say that you're a 10-time All-Star or an X amount All-Star that commands a certain amount of dollars. It's more what I'm talking about, the dollars and cents.
But like what I'm saying is James Harden's still going to be an All-Star. He's just not going to be an All-Star starter.
Agreed,
but that's he doesn't go up and say like, "Oh, I was an All-Star starter."
But like my thing is that when they do that, right? Because they do say starter. When we look at James Harden after when the Dias cast is all said and done, right? They're not really going to care because James Harden's that level of athlete, right?
Yeah, but they never say, like, when you look at when they talk about like an old player at any point, they'll be like, yeah, 8-time All-Star. They don't say like 6 times.
But I'm not talking about the Hardens. What I'm talking about is the difference between, like what I said, where it comes to those minor things, right? The difference between what does being an All-Star and adding to the resume to a Zach LaVine do compared to a Bradley Beal who has needed to get an All-Star, and everybody wants him to get an All-Star, right? As far as the snub aspect, those shits are important to some of these mid-tier guys.
So you don't think that Zach LaVine's going to be an All-Star at all?
I didn't say that. I'm saying that if we're all right, how long did Brad have to wait?
7 years.
This shit matters. It's like when we're talking about somebody.
So he was supposed to be an All-Star last year.
Agreed.
Before that, would you say that he was supposed to be an All-Star?
I think you can arguably say there was one more season.
1 year, yeah.
Okay, so
Zach LaVine's been in the league for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, like Zach is like, I have him on my fantasy team. He's scoring like crazy.
I'm sure they take that.
He has a lot of help around him.
He got a lot.
They're still not good.
I'm getting what he's saying, but I'm saying if we look at all the stats, I get 4 points to a lot.
That's a lot.
4 points per game averaged out. But if we're looking at the percentages, if we're looking at the wins, we're looking at everything else, I'm just saying there's a case to be made. Yeah. I want that argument to happen. What I don't want is an American Idol style Twitter vote to determine these guys and what it is that they're going to be able to command.
Okay, so you have an issue with the format.
Yes, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just take the fans out of it. Like,
I don't even watch the All-Star game, so I could give a shit less.
All-Star game used to be fun. All-Star weekend used to be fun as shit. The dunk contest, everything else, then there's some years it's just trash.
Yeah.
It's also the caliber of players that are there.
So do you know who else is not going to be an All-Star?
Me? Snubbed.
Andre Drummond. He's grabbing boys like shit, but the Cavs decided to sit him because they discussed with his agent and they determined that they're going to trade him. And Draymond Green had an interview where he was discussing it, and he had issues with how it's like a double standard that teams can just sit players and say, yeah, we're going to trade them, like say that publicly. But then if you got somebody like James Harden come out and say, like, I want a new team, like I want to be traded, he gets castrated in the media.
Castrated.
So, I mean, I'll be honest. I agreed with Draymond Green's comments 100%. It is a double standard.
I would strongly disagree.
Okay. KDot, what about you?
I agree with Draymond. I agree with Draymond on principle. I don't know if
that's that
situation.
Wait, what are you saying?
Drummond fits.
I agree with him.
I agree with what like Draymond is saying. I just don't think it's anything that he can do about it.
I don't know what that means. I was saying that I think Draymond in principle is not wrong. I don't think the Andre Drummond situation itself fits for what he's saying.
Right, because like the Cavs organization was talking with his agent.
Right.
So they make that decision together.
Together, right. But how many situations have there been that they sit a player and don't allow him to play because they're trying to use him as trade bait?
Anthony Davis, I think.
That the organization?
I think that was.
Anthony Davis kept saying he had the flu and this, that, and the other one, feeling good and back issues and shit. I'm saying that the team got somebody down.
But his point was more than just that, though. Right?
But I'm asking this specifically.
Okay. I don't know. Like the one that I have to bring up, the situation I have to bring up is what the Mavericks did to Harrison Barnes. That was one of the worst situations I've seen.
Break it down. What happened?
All right. I'm watching Mavericks play. Harrison is playing in the game. He sits down on the bench. You know, like players take breaks and shit. So he's sitting on the bench, and then something come across the screen. Harrison Barnes has been traded to Sacramento during the game, and he has no idea. So then he's just sitting there, and now like the world is learning that Harrison Barnes has been traded to the Kings, and then he's like the last one to know, because like the news comes out, and then he's like just sitting there, and then like, yeah, you got traded, and he sat there on the bench for the game, just watching his ex-teammates play. Like, to me, that was really fucked up.
It is. Ryan, you want to jump in while your internet works?
Yeah. I think that there can be an argument made that you shouldn't trade them in the middle of the game. And maybe you should maybe tell them beforehand, like, hey, you might get traded today. But at the end of the day, they're still employees of the team. And while they can be part of the conversation, if the owner is like, this is in the best interest of my team, I got a great deal right now, or we're trying to put a package together, we got a window to do it. I mean, it's a little brutal, but it happens in every single sport, especially baseball. Baseball, you could be you could be in the dugout, and then the next morning you're cleaning out your apartment, going to Kansas City. It's just as long as you're an employee of the team, they're going to do what's in the best interest of the team, or what they it's in the best interest of the team. I get that it's coming from if I was a player, would I be involved? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's their decisions to make. And as the employee, it's not your decision to make.
Yeah.
Welcome to quit. But
I can't really.
Here's where it boils
what do you
down.
mean? You can quit any job at any time.
Whoa,
that's part of being in America.
Right. Here's my hot take. My hot take is this. If I'm an employee of a team, I'm not an employee of the NBA, right? So if I'm an employee with a team, and I back up, because this got me heated for a second.
Okay.
I want to abolish trades I want to abolish all trades without player having the option of saying yes. I think that every athlete should have a no trade clause in their contract. The reason being is this. If I go and I decide that I'm going to go work for said company, right? If I'm working for X hardware store and I have my kids enrolled in school, I have my family around a certain thing, I've known that this is the job that I'm going to take, and that company comes back to me and says, hey, you can either quit or I'm going to fine you for not showing up, but I'm trading you to the store that we got in Texas. The fuck are you talking about? You trading me to the store in Texas? Well, I mean, it's better for the company overall. We got enough managers over here in this area. We need you to go over there. You can leave if you want to. Fuck that. And I think we don't figure out, or we don't take into consideration is the human element of trades. And I think what the show that probably did the best as far as getting people at least thinking about it was Hard Knocks, as far as the NFL on HBO, which was that you start looking at, there are so many moving pieces. There's a reason the majority of the time, unless your name is Adam Gase, I don't really champion you getting fired, because I know what it means from a human element.
Bruce Allen,
yeah, fuck him. But there's a certain element of like, look, you have your family, not to mention taxes. If I wake up one morning living in fucking Texas, and then they tell me I'm being traded to California or New York with a 50% tax code, kiss my black ass. Fuck you, you're not trading me. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's one of those things where it's, the reason that the Andre Drummond situation itself to me does not fit is because the team goes to him and says, this is what we're trying to do collectively for both of us. Are you good with it? Mm-hmm. All right, cool, whatever. Yeah, I don't want to waste my time if I'm not going to stay here. Yeah, I want most value for what it is I get. Find a good trade partner for me. Got it. And I think if you had players that had that aspect to them and they knew that these contracts were guaranteed and the team was going to live up to their end of it, you'd have less situations like what you're seeing right now in the NBA with like the James Hardens wanting to leave and this, that, and the other. Because you'll have some sort of loyalty built up with the team that you have. But right now, if you got a player that wakes up any day, unless you're one of the top 10 guys, knowing that, I could go tomorrow. The team's going to do whatever the team wants to do. It's fucked up. I don't understand why we have to have this sort of method when it comes to trades. We're just used to it. But it doesn't need to be this way. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I get your analogy to working at a hardware store, but unless you own that hardware store or paid $1 million a year to work at that hardware store, it's not really the same.
But what do you have to say about at least the income tax aspect? Because it vastly changes depending on where it is you're going.
At least for baseball, I don't know how basketball, most people have their home and then their home.
Right. Tax loopholes that should be closed under the Biden administration. Now, under a fair tax code, in which motherfuckers ain't jumping through, got an LLCs and having fucking Cayman Island bank accounts.
That's a tax.
No, fuck that.
You what? So you're saying that
you're also saying that you got somebody that's grimy enough to, well, I almost said something else problematic. You're going to let somebody. I'm also taking advantage of your American Online right now because I can just talk over it. Like you're frozen right now. I can do whatever I want to.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so angry.
All right, but Kate, I agree with your point. Like that would be cool to see.
I think we're close. I think the NBA
It will never.
I think the NBA is closer than you think it is to getting there. I think the amount of athletes in the NBA that actually have no trade clauses probably from a percentage standpoint, is higher than most other leagues, I think, in America. And if I'm looking at the way that they have moved towards the player empowerment era in the NBA, I think this is it. And if they're also looking for a way to offset the fact that you have these players that then command so much power, it's a harder to sell to the public. If you had to get traded or anything, that it had to be both sides coming together, that you have a player deciding, hey, I just don't want to play for this organization anymore, I don't think you're going to have a lot of fans in that person's corner if they understand that this is more of a collaborative effort sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get comments over that one. I like it. All right. KDot, like Draymond's like ability to speak his mind and say all the shit that he thinks about and the shit he has issues with consistently, brought up a topic that you posted in our group chat, which is about like players in politics. Is it possible for players to just stick to sports like now and going forward?
I posted something about that.
Yeah.
Don't recall. I think that we've done this show enough. Mm-hmm. And me and you even did a one-off episode as far as athletes in politics and taking stands for things, that I think anyone saying that anyone needs to stick to X and they can't have something outside of that is asinine. I think that it's a matter of being more well-informed.
Let me add something. Let me add one thing. Nobody sticks to anything. The people that are saying, like, in the comments, like, in like the Twitter responses, like, oh yeah, stick to dribbling a basketball or whatever. Like, they're still, like, they work at a hardware store.
Some athletes do. Tom Brady mostly stays out of it. Michael Jordan, when he played, pretty much stayed out of it. He had the hat, like the hat thing. I
don't think he knew. Like,
the hat thing happened in 2015.
Yeah,
right when
like,
Trump
it wasn't like that.
He knew who Trump was beforehand because
they were friends.
You know Trump gave him a hat, and he had in the locker room kind of as a goof, like, hey, it's kind of funny this guy's running for president. A week later, it was gone, and they made a big deal out of it because of Robert Kraft, all that shit. It was overblown like everything else with Tom Brady's overblown. But there's an angle of, to me, it's, if you're going to utilize your platform as an athlete, and it's a hell of a platform, I just want you to be informed. That's it. Because every once in a while, there's somebody that will pipe up and say some dumb shit. And when those assholes on Twitter come up and say, yo, stick to sports, I'm like, while I disagree with it, maybe you should. Because you're not necessarily saying the things we need you to say or the things that are really helping anybody out. Kyrie probably being one of the biggest points, but I think
I was going to say Deshaun Jackson, but he learned.
Deshaun Jackson learned. It's that fake woke, right?
That was a one-off.
Yeah.
It was a one-off, and then they
one-off.
His ass up in Auschwitz to learn. Like, it's just,
and he did.
Isn't that what I thought he went over there? It wasn't a joke. I thought he was
It's just the way you said it sounded bad.
He didn't go. It wasn't like he was an inmate there.
He threw his ass in Auschwitz.
They threw him there. Weekend at Auschwitz. Learn something.
Go.
All anti-Semites are now required to spend a week at Auschwitz. It's like a weekend at Bernie's, but nearly as fun.
I can only think of this one thing in my head right now.
But it is winter, and I hear the heating is very good. Anyway.
You can make that comment. I disavow anything that had to do with that comment whatsoever. Jesus Christ. The Jesus Christ. Yeah, did I trigger you? Because never mind.
Okay, hold on. Wait, what? What time is this? Like, what time stamp? We got to cut all that shit out.
7 minutes.
He said the problematic shit. I didn't say the problematic.
And then you add.
Historically, Jesus Christ was something, and in particular groups of people. Not hold on. Whoa, you don't know who I'm talking about. Might be talking about the Romans. Fuck them. So I'm just saying. What were we talking about? The players
in politics.
Players in politics.
Why?
I just want people to utilize their platforms properly, to be educated when you do so. If there's a topic that comes up that you don't know enough about, say it. Say, hey, because here's the other thing you get at your platform, which we just said Deshaun Jackson got an opportunity to. With your platform, you can ask for help. And people will be willing to come and help you, to teach you. Like, that's what the opportunity you get. When you're LeBron James, you get to call Barack Obama at 2 a.m. in the morning, which you shouldn't have done. You get the opportunity to have those conversations some people wouldn't be able to have. Learn before you speak. Draymond falls in this territory where the one thing I give Draymond respect for is he never really steps outside of shit he doesn't know about. Mm-hmm. And he keeps it grounded. If there is something that's more highbrow sort of thing, he usually just shakes it off and says, I'm going to keep it here to what I know. And I appreciate Draymond for that. Do I think that Draymond sometimes might need a filter? Yes, because I think that if he had a filter and he coupled his truth and being able to get out a message concisely, I think it's a hell of a lethal combo. But that's just as somebody who's long-winded myself, and I'm going to stop talking now because now I'm aware that I talk too much.
Ah, okay.
Awareness is key.
Yeah, but we definitely cut part of that shit out because that was nuts. Y'all were going ham.
I'm gonna have the whole screen be black. I'm gonna say James's words in the screen.
Hey, go ahead and shit on me because y'all fucked up. But okay.
How did I fuck up? He's a Jew.
Leave everything in there.
He's a Jew.
leave it all there.
I don't know if I'm pointing, like on the screen, I'm pointing here to him, but I don't know if I'm supposed to do this.
No, well, you're pointing to me from what I see.
Yeah, you're below.
This is going to be so fucked, okay? This episode is going to be. How long is it going to take me to edit this goddamn thing?
I don't know, but we're going to get a lot of views. And everybody like and subscribe.
He just looked down at his script again.
I didn't. All right. So the final topic
after and it's like liking her. What am I supposed to do?
The final topic that I have for this week is the fall of Barcelona.
I'm sorry.
All right. A lot of people want to hear this shit, so fuck you.
I know. Soccer and cards, the two things that separate us from everybody else. We can't release a sports card topic or video. I don't know why. Both of
you
putting out shitty content that you guys aren't comfortable putting up. Or
PSA is 10 million cards behind.
We also don't have enough content to make sense at this point. Very soon.
And cards are expensive.
Yeah, thousands of dollars.
I don't care if you open up Pokemon cards. Open up fucking.
They are thousands of dollars too.
No, nobody's gonna want to watch us open up the newest like cards. People want to see you open up the old shit, which is expensive.
I thought, but that's the whole card thing.
Most of the new cards are expensive.
Isn't it?
Box Prism basketball is $1,000.
No, I was talking about Pokemon.
Isn't all clickbait? Like you post that stinger part where it's like, we just bought a new box. We don't know what's in it. Oh my god! And then like you guys are opening it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to spend money on that.
Yeah, like no, like you put whatever the box is in the title. That's what people search for.
All right, I think about it. All right, talk about your soccer shit.
So I can finish fixing my internet.
All right.
So angry.
So, Barcelona got their ass whooped in Champions League again to PSG, down 4-1. Like last time against PSG, but this time in the second leg, we're playing in Paris. Number one. Number two, we don't have Suarez. Number three, we don't have Neymar. And Neymar might be playing for Paris. That's if he recovers from his injury that he suffers around every time each year because his sister's birthday is on March 11th. No, literally. When he got injured, they were like, oh, how long is Neymar going to be out for? And they said 4 weeks, about 4 weeks. And it was like, when's his sister's birthday? About March 11th. So he should come back around a little bit, maybe a little bit after.
What does this have to do with Barcelona?
Because we play them, and Neymar will probably be there, and they'll kick our ass again.
Yeah, you guys are terrible. I don't know what to tell you.
Better than Arsenal, but whatever.
That's true. Arsenal is also terrible.
All right, so we have the presidential election coming up soon, and it's between.
It's not another one, right?
What?
Biden's in office. What the fuck are you talking about?
See, man, listen. All right, so Barcelona has another presidential election coming up.
You just said we have a presidential election.
Yeah, and I'm talking about Barcelona.
I'm barely listening, but you said we had a presidential election. I'm like, what the fuck?
Shut up, then.
It scares me. We just got rid of the fucker.
All right. So we have it's between the two real candidates is Victor Font and Joao Laporta. I don't want Laporta because it's basically nostalgia. Like he was the architect or the leader of the last time Barcelona was great and shit, but I haven't really heard anything in regards to his plans. But with Font, he wants to bring in Xavi as a head coach, which Xavi says that he wants to be the coach, and I can't wait for that. He wants to bring back some of the old players like Carlos Puyol to be like around the team and shit like that, and really to give Messi the option of if he wants to stay or leave, which I feel is important.
It's not important at this point.
What?
I think as a Barcelona fan, you want Messi to stay, but he's not the problem.
No, that's not.
It's the rest of your team and your coaching.
No, I'm a fan, right?
Right.
I want like he's done so much for this club that he deserves the right to pick whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Right, but my thing is he should not be the focus if you guys want to get better. That is the biggest issue.
No, what I'm saying is like having him there is great because he's the best player in the world. But if he leaves, that frees up a lot of wages. Right. He'll bring back a lot of money, and we can fix a lot of the issues that we have. And then, I mean, the biggest issue with me, I've said this for the past couple of years, is the board that we had, because no way we should have spent 140-something million on Coutinho and Dembele. We bought Griezmann for what, 100? Like, all this shit that we did has ruined the club. Like, Umtiti doesn't even play anymore, really.
I mean, it's mostly your defending that's ruining it, but
yeah, like we've had Sergio Roberto at right back for so long. We bring in Dest, and then we got PK still trying to be a center back. He needs to retire and become the president.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what all these moves in terms of Xavi and Puyol and all that, how is that going to help your team?
Well, Xavi is going to help because he'll be the coach. That clearly helps. Like, First off, PK needs to retire. Busquets needs to retire. All that other shit frees up wages, which helps.
But you guys
we need to play Puig needs to play. Trincao needs to play. Ansu Fati needs to get healthy and then play.
Right, but we have young. Huh? You guys are pretty far off in terms of being at that level of Barcelona again.
Oh yeah.
So many pieces that need to move.
But we have so many issues in terms of finances to where it's not going to be something that we can just do in a year. It needs to be a situation where we need to clear out and then rebuild from the youth levels like we did before.
Right, and I agree. I'm just saying that.
And that's right there is what Font wants to do. That's why I say I think he's the best candidate. And
I agree.
Laporta hasn't said anything.
I just think you guys are years off
from being back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like if we have a youth movement, like we have a couple pieces like Pedri, and Ansu Fati and KDot, you want this to succeed, right? Stop being a distraction. All right, I'm done.
Just sabotaging everybody else's spot, KDot. You son of a bitch.
Stupid.
I hope your birthday sucked.
All right, so yeah.
Your birthday was amazing.
And I hope
I don't have nothing else.
Hope tomorrow sucks.
I don't have nothing else. Go ahead and ruin the fucking segment.
Yeah.
Did I strike a nerve?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Because I'm fucking trying to talk about Barcelona. And you sitting there doing this and talking and shit. And I'm like, come on, man.
Here's the other thing that you guys don't realize is that number one, I do have the editing power as far as in this pod itself. So what I had planned for this entire segment was to black myself the fuck out, which is why I continue to myself.
Why?
I had a bit and everything all squared away, but no, somebody's got to make their fucking panties in a bunch. While this asshole's got American online internet ruining every.
I love that, bud.
Another clip.
Yeah, I'm providing all the goddamn clips. You piece of...
Breathe.
He's getting so angry while he's smoking. It's supposed to be the opposite.
I'm gonna down all this goddamn weed after this goddamn episode. Because all you cocksuckers on this goddamn show. Ruining the fucking segment. Fuck off. Fuck you. Ruining the goddamn segment.
The part that's gonna suck is that when we're doing this shit live again, we can't mute him.
That's true. It's just gonna bleed in.
Fuck.
You're gonna have to shoot me, motherfucker.
All right, so hopefully Font wins the presidential election. We suck for like 2-3 years, and then we get back to the glory. It is what it is. All right, that's all I got. That's my final thought too. So, KDot or Ryan, who wants to go next?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I hate people that suck my joy out of my goddamn life. All right? Suck dick, not joy, from me, okay? That's all I'm asking of people. Like, that's all I want for my goddamn birthday. But beyond that, let me get to my real final thought. My real final thought is that elections do matter. Not the ones that his jackass was just talking about for 5 minutes, but actual elections do matter. Like what's happening in Texas right now with this winter storm. If you select the right people, as far as candidates go, that make sure that they're looking out for the constituents in the right way, that you don't have a situation where you have a Texas power grid that's completely all on its own, and they don't have the wherewithal, the abilities to draw from power from other places. This shit's about to get worse, and what we need to do is make sure that we have politicians that are in power, that are making sure they're taking care of us and not corporations and companies, and making sure that their bottom lines are where they need to be.
Can you see me?
Yeah,
Okay.
sadly. It's just fucked up all the cameras again, but yeah, we're just gonna roll.
Dude, I don't know what is going on. It is very, very frustrating.
What was it?
It's like perfect now.
I don't know what happened.
What's his name?
Are we doing final thoughts? Because I was gone for like
Tim Boyd. You won't have a situation like Tim Boyd, the Texas governor that said that the weak will perish.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Also, in lighter news.
No one owes you or your family anything, nor is the local government's responsibility to support you during this trying times like this. Like what?
Quick thing. Did you guys see on Twitter the woman, I think she posted on TikTok, but it's all over Twitter. You could see that she's like half crying, but she's also just lost. She's in a parking garage. It's a 7-story parking garage. She looks across, she's showing the video of all the empty spaces in the parking garage. It just looks serene. And she says, why the fuck does this happen to me? And she points over. In the entire parking garage, only one pipe burst, and it was right over her car.
There's only one car in the whole fucking parking garage. She could have parked anywhere else.
Anywhere.
It is just a full-on ice structure.
Wait,
it's a full...
Does she have... Is it a convertible?
No. It was fully contained in ice.
The car is gone. There's no car anymore.
No.
Yeah, she was crying. Like, I show everybody the video, and your initial reaction, you have to laugh. If you're not laughing, you're a piece of shit. But then right after, you feel terrible.
It's on Barcelona.
Yeah, but she ended up finding out it was her second car. She has another car. She was trying to sell this one anyway. She's just not going to get anything for it now.
No, she gets some insurance money.
Now she just had liability.
Ooh. Well, she can sue the building, but are we doing final thoughts? Is that where we're at?
Yes. Then we're done.
I left for a minute.
I know. My final thought was a lot about you.
Good.
Man, James.
Wait, you didn't hear any of that?
Me?
Yeah.
My internet turned off.
I had no idea. I was too busy laughing at him.
Yeah, it looked like he was just looking at his phone or something.
Yeah.
No, I was gone. Everything stopped.
Oh, that's amazing.
It just looked like everything I had to say about it, he just stood there and he took it, which I give you credit.
Great. Great. I'll have to go back and watch. So the NHL is doing their outdoor game at Lake Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. They built an outdoor rink right next to Lake Tahoe.
Oh my God.
Are you looking at the car video?
That's nuts.
It's almost as frozen as the pond that they're playing on next to Lake Tahoe.
That's tough.
Shout out to the NHL because that shit is awesome. Need something like that.
NHL does a really good job with the outdoor games.
This one especially though, because they've done them in like stadiums and stuff.
Right.
This is not in a stadium. They built their own rink.
I gotta take
right
a look
next
at
to
this. It's
Lake
gonna be
Tahoe.
dope as shit. Yeah.
It's games on right now. It's Vegas and Colorado. I don't know because I can't watch because my internet's broken. But yeah, shout out to the NHL. Arsenal plays tomorrow. Probably gonna lose.
Good luck though. Did y'all see the Mortal Kombat?
Yeah,
trailer?
that looks awesome.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I know, me too. But who the hell is Cole? I don't know who that guy is.
First of all, if you go back to the old Mortal Kombat, not great.
Yeah.
But still love it.
The protagonist. Yeah. His name Adam or something? The protagonist. The dude
wasn't Liu Kang?
No, that's not Liu Kang. When they were like, it was like, yeah.
Oh, the birthmark thing?
Yeah, that dude.
I don't fucking know. All I will say is this. I'm glad they're going the R rating as far as the fatalities and everything. The acting looks like it's going to be absolute dog shit. But
yeah, it's Mortal Kombat.
I was hoping like the 95 Mortal Kombat.
You want like an Oscar-winning performance?
I've told the story on this pod about when I went to go see Mortal Kombat for the first time, and my parents got in the argument at the hair salon and shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So trust me, Mortal Kombat has deep. I love the series, right? And I understand that when we're coming to watch this movie that's about to come out, there's a certain level of like, all right, this is just gonna be dumb shit. We just want to see some cool shit happening. But
Sub-Zero looked awesome.
But what I will say this, now that we have Netflix, Prime Video, and all this other kind of shit, there's no shortage of supremely R-rated, violent as shit, dog shit movies that exist, okay? I could turn on some Steven Seagal where he's out of shape, just fucking karate chop motherfuckers in the neck.
It's not Mortal Kombat, though.
I'm just saying right now, what I want everybody to do is pump the brakes just a bit on the Mortal Kombat thing. If there's any movie,
talking about being hyped for it?
Yeah, if there's any movie that I think should be receiving all the praise right now, and it's a movie that I've already seen 3 times, and I think I'm going to go watch it again, is Judas and the Black Messiah. And if you haven't watched that movie, you need to reevaluate what the fuck you're doing and turn that goddamn thing on. And
that's different, though, man.
I also work.
No, I've seen it like three times myself.
Ryan,
I'm saying it's different.
Take. All right. I know that a lot in your life. There's the percentage that you.
I can't stream anything.
There's a percentage that you work. There's a percentage that you work on your car, and there's a percentage that you drink. I'm asking to take 2% off the drinking time. You can do it with the movie. Feel free. But I'm just saying,
No, I started it. I just fell asleep.
No, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, though.
I got to.
Great.
He did the same thing with Avengers, so don't.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll come around.
Like, don't be offended. Like Ryan.
I don't like the comparison between this and the Avengers. To be completely honest, it rubbed me the wrong way for a second.
I'm talking about in terms of the quality of the movie.
I'm saying in terms of Ryan's just a fucking narcoleptic. I got it.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, the movie was great.
That's your best comedic timing I've had from you in a very long time, sir.
All right, y'all. I think there's one last thing that we have to do.
That's right.
I can't wait to watch this back. You were mad.
The Death Star goes, James sucked my goddamn dick.